Alrighty, howdy neighbors, and welcome back to Scarlet Hollow. Just a little FYI, I am coming off of a cold, so I sound like garbage. Sorry about that. Last time, Stella went missing. Because why not? Let's go to the house. Yeah, let's go. We should make sure the police know Stella's missing. The police station is exactly what you would expect from a town the size of Scarlet Hollow. It smells strongly of coffee and faintly of aged furniture and paper. In general, tidiness speaks of a department that doesn't get much of anything done. We're also not here alone. We're not here to find Beau and Duke standing between you and the officers behind the desk. I can hear a heartbeat. Big Betty is set to win a blue ribbon. And don't you go telling me she was just a pumpkin. Worked really hard to get her that big. Raised her up from a seed. You're just a fair officer, sir. I understand that and all, but I don't see what y'all want us to do about it. I know y'all killed a lot about this pumpkin, but as it stands, it's simply a job the police can help me with. If you were able to find some kind of evidence that Julius or somebody else stole this big buddy of yours, then you could get a lawyer involved and take it to small claims court. Dang it, deputy. I ain't finding evidence what y'all are supposed to be good for. That Julius has been stealing what rightfully belongs to the Callaways for all his life, and you folks ain't done a lick of policing to put an end to it. I told you we were better off handling it ourselves, Daddy. Stella ran off last night. She's missing. She isn't home, and I wasn't heard from her. She went out. Oh, that's just our Stella. She's always running off. I wouldn't worry too much about it. She'll turn up. This is different, Earl. You know I wouldn't be here bothering you if it wasn't important. She'll be off on her own when there are so many distance around. I'm sure you've seen them by now. They're everywhere. Sure, we've seen some strange animals lately. Seem to be getting a lot of calls about them. Sorry, the Scarlet Hollow is suffering from some kind of mass hallucination, and we're being invaded by whatever they are. What are you expecting us to do about it? God, I hate this. Ain't you supposed to shoot him or something? Now, son, we ain't animal control. We're the police. Are you kidding me? This town doesn't even have an animal control department. Well, maybe you should get one. Y'all are no use at all. You know that. And things been going after our chickens for the last week, for at least a week now. Open your eyes, boys. There's strange things afoot. What's all this about a pumpkin? He was the Callaways here have lost a considerably large pumpkin. We ain't lost crud, Earl. We can't lose what's been stolen. We already know who did it. We saw Julius Iona yesterday. Look, Beau, I feel you. I really do. But that's circumstantial at best. And even if it wasn't, you know yourself that there is no clear property line. Genius to know the Duke's right there. Did Julius grab the pumpkin? Obviously not, or he wouldn't have been so stickily carting it off. Do your jobs. Damn straight. I'm gonna encourage him. If the Tremaines and Callaways had their way, we'd have personally ransacked each of their farms. One of these days, we're gonna have to pick a damn side. Don't my tax always pay your salary? Last I checked, Julius pays taxes too. Boop. Good question. But are folks part of cults and that's why you aren't doing your jobs? These officers say you're perplexed. Gold? I don't think we have such a... No, I don't think we have that sort of thing up here. We are doing our jobs. Just look at Franklin back there. He's filling all kinds of paperwork pertaining to what happened up in the mines. You know, I guess I appreciate your tone. So you're accusing us of some kind of indecency. Oh, sorry. What, do you think we go up into the hills to do seances and rituals and that sort of thing? Your head out of the clouds. Remain silent. Well, I guess we should get going. Come on. Well, that was a total waste of time. Hope Duke and Bo find the pumpkin. Where to next? Another save. Check it with Oscar. He's smart. Maybe he'll know what to do. I forgot who Oscar was. What else happened after we all went home last night? You're so brave for... Oh, he's the librarian guy. Whoopsie and dubsie. You're so brave for sleeping in that house after everything we went through. I was sleep in the woods with the ditchlings. It's a place that was that haunted. Morning light streams in through the library's large windows. In the bright daylight, it's once again a place of comfort, all menace having fled in the wake of Charles Shaw Jr.'s departure. No ghost, thank God. I was not up for an encore. We had to put over here the murmurings of a tense conversation coming from the mayor's office. Or rather, the murmurings of a tense animal conversation. Investigate. Start making your way upstairs toward the mayor's office. Hey, where are you going? Oh, fuck. Why does he look so scrunkly? Ew. A small gang of dogs hold court in the mayor's office, with the dogs quietly watch from the sidelines, but two of them, a sheepdog and a basset hound, are in heated conversation with Mayor Jimmy. Their tags read Scraps and Daisy. And it's like, you've all sorted this out. I don't see what you need me to do about any of it. Sorted? Things ain't sorted until the town is safe. Now we may have got the beginnings of a militia together, but there's plenty of pets out there who are still ill-informed about those things crawling out in the woods. You're the mayor. They'll listen to you. Just tell them to stay inside until it's handled. Listen, Scraps buddy, I hear you. The last thing we need right now is anarchy in the streets. And no use. I told you he'd be bullheaded. He's always bullheaded. Always the sore loser, aren't we, Daisy? Things are fine. Nobody has to worry about a thing. Propose yourself away at the conversation to acknowledge you. Woohoo! I remember you. You're the out-of-towner from yesterday. The speaker. The dogs murmur amongst themselves for a moment, then turn to face you. Sorry I had to see this little display. Politics can get so messy. Have any of y'all seen or smelled Stella, Gretchen's human friend? She's lost and we're trying to find her. Oh dear, poor Gretchen. We heard about what happened to her. I think those awful creatures could get to a dog whose human cared about her so much. Goes to show that we gotta look out for ourselves if we're going to survive. If the humans can't save us, we'll have to save ourselves. Yeah, I get it. You're all very upset. What do you expect me to do about it? Shut down this town? What about economy? Do you even know what economy is, Jimmy? I just don't know what fancy words you heard the humans say. Of course I know what economy is. I know all about economyism. Oh, good. Because I've never understood a look of what the humans talk... Oh, when the humans talk about economy. I just figured they just made up a word that they yell at each other when they want to stop talking. So please, enlighten us. I'm not going to debase myself by playing a game of trivia, not in front of the speaker. I thought so. It's your question, we did catch a whiff right around here. And near her house. Haven't picked up anything around town since then. I hope those creatures haven't gotten to her. Can you help us find her? You've got better noses for this sort of thing than we do. I'm afraid we won't be making any excursions into the forest until the creatures are long gone. We've lost enough already. We don't need any more of the local pests to go missing. What about Gretchen's scraps? If her person is in trouble, helping out is the least we could do to honor her memory. Fair enough. We'll see what we can do. Keep our noses to the ground and let you know if we find anything. Thank you! Captain Daisy. Best. Oh god. Alright. That's a kind of dog militia. Did I hear that right? Yeah, I suppose you could say that. When the town's illustrious leader abandons his kind, it's up to us common folk to band together. Daisy, please, I'm not abandoning anybody, dog or otherwise. You're all blowing this invasion story completely out of proportion. Everything's gonna turn out just fine. Sorry. If everything turns out just fine, it's because the rest of us protected those who need protecting. So here are the scraps I've heard so much about. The one and only. This here is Daisy. We've got a few other concerned locals with us as well. Just making sure the cats and dogs of Holler are well cared for, considering recent events. There are more of those things in the woods every day, popping out of the innocent bodies of what used to be dogs like us. They're exaggerating, of course. Well, I've heard reports of creatures coming out of the woods. It's nothing the humans in this town can't handle. And no secret that Daisy and Scraps are my competitors. And it's just like them to jump the first sign of trouble as an opportunity to run me out of office. Nobody's trying to run you out of anything. We're just trying to keep the critters of the town safe. How very noble of you, but that's exactly the line you'd feed the voters if you were trying to get rid of me. Mr. Mayor, you should listen to Daisy and Scraps on this one. There won't be anarchy in the streets to worry about if every animal in town is taken by ditchlings. Your opinion is noted, but I've been mayor for over 14 years. I know what I'm doing. That's 14 dog years, Jimmy. If you're not going to help, the least you could do is not blow smoke up the speaker's ass. I suppose you're right, Daisy. This is just a waste of time. But I need to hear it with my own ears before I can really believe it. I'll save the I told you so for later. Let's go rally the others. This town won't save itself. You and the dogs exit the mayor's office and close the door behind you. They quickly turn a corner and vanish from your line of sight. I had Kanika waiting for you in the lobby. You just had a full-on conversation with those dogs. It is so weird when you do that. Kanika sighs, muttering to herself. Knowing dogs are capable of carrying on an actual conversation is going to make being a veterinarian really weird. I guess Oscar must be in the back. I know that's where I'd be if I managed to unhaunt my house. Let's go. Make your way back toward the annex. It feels strange to be back here in the light of day, as if the events of the previous evening were just a terrible dream. More accurately, it feels like the events of the previous evening were mostly just a dream. That hideous stone carving is still buried in the basement. And though it's subtle and subdued, you can still feel the faintest hums reaching out from it. This hallway creeps me out. Kanika knocks on the door. Oh, good morning. It's good to see all of you. Please, come on in. You're doing really great, Rosalina. Not a lot of kids your age can take shots that well. You're being so brave. You have to talk to me like I'm 5. But you are brave. Look at the cat! Look at this fucking cat. The pet to kitty. You really are, Rosalina. You're like so badass. Where are your parents, Alexis? Where's your house? This is right. This is more than most people have to deal with in their whole lives. Here you are, taking it like champ. Dr. Kelly is kind of mean and vanishes when she turns and glares at you. Oh, I see we have visitors. I mean, you cannot look so pissed at me. That would be amazing. How you doing, Rosalina? Tired. My leg hurts a lot, but the medicine is helping. It's not so bad now. Plus, I get to lie down in an actual bed last night, and you have no idea how good it felt. Thanks, Iris. I can't believe you got any sleep last night after all that ghost stuff. I just sat on the couch with the lights on. I don't even think I slept at all. I really needed to rest after, you know, the hospital, and my foot. Your body is desperately trying to get you to rest. That activity yesterday was pretty brutal on your injury. It's never going to stop hurting if you keep pushing yourself. So, what are you not going to do today? Anything? That's right, you're staying right here. No walking around, no investigating haunted houses. Sorry, Doc Kelly. I should have been better at stopping her. I take full responsibility. As her father, I should have waited for anyone to step in to take the blame for anything. It's the hospital's fault for sending her home at all. It's gross negligence, if you ask me. But in time. But give her time, and you could do all the activities you want. Alright, Rosalina? How's Reese? He's fine. Had a rough night, but he'll recover. He's used to that sort of thing. He just needs a couple of days to get back on his feet. That means no more excitement. Not even a movie. Sorry to hear that, Dr. Kelly. What if I wanted to hang out with him again? He's so cool. You don't always get to do what you want to do. You have to take other people's feelings into account. Have any of you seen Stella since last night? Not since dinner. He hasn't gotten in touch with any of you? Nope, we got no clue where she's gone. That's no good. Haven't seen her since she ran off last night. I feel terrible. I should have done a better job warning her. Stella is practically banging down your door trying to get evidence of ghosts. I don't think you were going to be able to stop her. There was no way you could have known how she would react when she found it. I found something in Oscar's house last night, a stone carving, that gave me and Tabitha a vision of what happened there. There's one of the mines the other night too. Both of them had a sort of pull on me. Whatever they are, there's something like that in your clinic. I felt it last night. Look at her face. Those things are cursed. Some amount of time before something terrible happens at the clinic. You and Reese have to leave immediately. No, I don't think we will. Because you decided to try to involve yourself in everyone's problems doesn't mean I want you to invade my space. I tried to deconstruct the life I've built. All based on what? A feeling? Leave me alone. My son and I are fine without your help. But if something does happen at the clinic, aren't you worried about Reese? If there's anything that, like what happened to us last night, he'll be fine. If something happens, I can take care of him. And then if you need to come snooping around. You remain silent. So, you've got your meds, you've got your nest of pillows, your helpful friend by your side, and a cat to keep you company. Seems like you're all set. Make sure you do a whole lot of nothing today. I will. Bye, Dr. Kelly. Thanks again for coming out to see us, Joan. No problem. I'd much rather she stay put than have to go in and out of cars. I'll call later today to see how things are going. I hope the rest of the week is less eventful for the both of you. Goodbye, Rosalina. Make sure you stay put and keep Pixel company, okay? Don't worry, Doc. I'll keep her warm. I'm helping. Thanks, Pixel. Dr. Kelly's features harden once again as she stepped toward the door. She pushes past you and leaves Oscar's house. We'll let you kids have some space. Alexis, why don't you try to figure out a restful activity for you and Rosalina? Will do, Mr. Gutierrez. I brought some video games and puzzles from my house, and some movies too. Whatever you want to do, Rosalina. Hey. Oscar ushers you down back to the library. What's up? Is everything okay? Everything's fine. Or at least much better than yesterday. Can't thank you well enough. I'd like to be as helpful as I can from here on out. Now that our little situation is dealt with, I finally have time to dig into the town archives. The house was haunted because someone was murdered there. The mine collapsed the other night. It was the site of a mass grave. With enough research, maybe we'll be able to get a step ahead of the next crisis. Maybe we can even preempt it. That is, assuming there's going to be a next crisis. But something tells me we aren't in the clear yet. We should compare notes. Not that I have any to start with. But if you know anything that might narrow down my research, it could save me a lot of time. I don't think we actually know that much more than you do, but I've got some hunches. I can't help but feel like there must be some inciting event, since everything started getting weird, seemingly overnight. What that inciting event was, or where to start looking for it, I have no idea, but it's something to keep in mind. If there's a root cause for all this, hopefully there's a way to put the genie back in his bottle. I'm going to do my best to find out if there has ever been any similar events, whether there's anything special about Scarlet Hollow that might explain what's going on. So sorry. Very sorry about that. Wow. I'm just dying. Those garbage they warned Dr. Kelly about are important. I think there was someone like that in my house all this time. I think someone must have put it there, but who? There's one in the mines. If you're right, there's one in the clinic. Maybe that's where I should be focusing on right now. How many of those things are there? If we're lucky, maybe just those 3. But I'd rather not count on it. If the ghosts are really gone, then we should look at the carving, right? Not that I want to go back into the creepy basement. But that thing has to be the most solid that we have at this point, right? Not a chance. I know the ghost is probably gone for good, but that thing is evil, and if there's even the slightest bit of chance of going back down that trigger or something, it's not worth disturbing. At least not until we know more. What if it's our only chance to... My daughter's safety comes first right now. We finally have our house back, and I'm not taking any risks until we know what we're dealing with. I think Dr. Kelly is hiding something. Didn't last night was weird. I don't think we need to go around accusing people of being deceitful. No, Iris is definitely right. I know it's probably not great to hear, since Rosalina really needs her right now, but something is up with Dr. Kelly. I'm worried about Reese. I request we drop that line of thinking. We don't need to turn on each other based on pure speculation. Besides, she took me at my word about everything that happened last night. That has to cover something, right? Make sure Pixel stays inside, or he might be grabbed by ditchlings. The ditchlings are those things from the woods, right? With those faces. They snatch animals to do some kind of parasitic egg-laying thing. So unless you want one of those to pop out a pixel, you better keep him where he's safe. Will do. I can't imagine how devastated Rosalina would be if something were to happen to him, especially after everything she's been through. I wonder if this could be the work since kind of cold. You're really not letting your cold theory go, are you? Maybe it has something to do with the church and the pastor. Okay, I would absolutely believe that Dr. Dane was a member of some weird cult. Who else would be in a cult, though? Does everyone know folks around town who are suspicious? For that matter, does anyone in town even regularly attend church? It always seemed a little dead to me. No, not that I can think of, and it goes for both of your questions. But it's something to keep in mind. I never trusted that guy. Whatever we're doing next, I feel like we're missing a vital team member. We need to find Stella, and fast. I agree. We need her brazen energy if we're going to do any serious sleuthing. Let us know what you find. I will. So that's Oscar. Any other ideas? God, I don't want to do any of these. None of these are a good idea to me. Let's go to the diner. Let's go to the diner. Good idea. Folks tend to congregate there. Maybe we'll run into someone who's seen Stella. I'm gonna cough again. And a bag. It feels like you walked into a private meeting. The back booth is full of miners, and they're having what seems like an intense discussion. Their expression is gravely serious. Hey, it's Iris and Kanika. Long time no see. Hope the town's been treating you well. We're interrupting something. Of course not. Everyone's welcome here. Just be careful not to step on any toes. Things have gotten a little tense over the past couple of days. The miners in the back are too engaged in conversation to notice you enter. Instead of speaking in hushed tones, they argue with each other loudly enough for you to easily overhear. Sure, the shift schedules are tough. And sure, we don't get enough time off for me to see my family as often as I'd like. This is the best job I can get right now. Listen, kid, you're only a year or so into the gig. Trust me, the longer it goes on, the more it sucks the life out of you. His name is Zax, that's cool. At first, you're just unhappy. But you think you can weather it till you find something better. Paycheck's a paycheck, I get it. But the next thing you know, you've lost the years of your life to a company that doesn't give a solitary shit about you. That uses up every free second it can to take a suck out of its workers, and pays you just enough to survive. But not so much that we can ever save enough to get the hell out. Zax, we can get fired for this. I really need the paycheck. My sister needs the paycheck. The only reason she could afford her tuition right now, I can't get fired. So this job still has its perks, like the company housing. I can't afford my own place and send money back home. I don't know where I'd live if I didn't have this job. Right, the company housing. How generous of the big boss to put you up in a company-owned shack that ain't had proper maintenance done in decades. You know she uses the housing as an excuse to pay us less. And the company housing, that means almost nobody in this whole damn town owns the place they live. That's why the Scarlets can keep getting away with whatever they want. Zax, we don't have the numbers, man. You know it's risky. Riskier than most of us can afford. We would have the numbers if y'all would stand with me and not let management's scare tactics get to you. It's not scare tactics. People like her now. That woman ran into a collapsing coal mine to save 3 children from being buried alive. I feel you, I really do. But how are we supposed to organize a strike against a town hero? Are you trying to tell me that the mine collapsed less than 2 days ago is why you don't want to strike? It's a bad time, Zax. It's always a bad time, Baker. It doesn't matter whose name is on the deed of that place. Without us, there is no mine. We gotta mix the ropes. We can't go back now, or they'll come out swinging. Hey, have any of you seen Stella? She's missing. Mine is turned toward the doorway, all eyes glaring at you in unison. The YouTuber? We ain't seen her. Mason's voice drops to a barely audible mumble. I hope she's okay. She hasn't been around. But I'll let you know if I hear anything. I guess we should get going. You turn to leave the diner. Kanika trailing close behind you. No sign of Stella. We should check out the church. The church? Why do you think Stella decided to get religious all of a sudden? You seem really shaken up. It's not unlikely. You're right. Stranger things have happened. Let's make it quick, though. I don't want him to try to rope me into some church event. Kanika leads the way, taking you up the gradual slope toward the church. Alright, where's that weirdo? Oh my, 3 visitors at once. On a Thursday. This is unprecedented. There's only 2 of us. Oh no, we're followed by a ditchling. We're followed by Wayne. Sup, old people. Hi, Zane. Oh, it's just Zane. What are you doing here? All the glimpse of death I've had in the past 2 days have forced me into a midst of an existential crisis, my dudes. I wanted to see if faith held any answers for me. Alas, I have not yet found the solace I seek. Give it time, Zane. It sometimes takes a while for the Lord to work his way into your heart. But when he does, you won't regret letting him in. Be sure to look over those pamphlets I gave you. And of course, I'm always here if you need to talk. Sure thing, Pastor D. Peace, y'all. Anyway, we're looking for Stella. She wandered off last night and no one has seen her since. We're starting to get pretty worried. We hope maybe you or Janie had seen her. I can't speak for Janie, but I'm afraid I've seen neither hide nor hair of Stella. I feel like talking to my wife. She's over by the alpacas. I want to pet an alpaca at some point in my life. I am terrified, but I want to. No, Iris. I was hoping we might be able to talk in private. Concern. Why does it have to be in private? It's a personal matter. I'd rather folks not pry in on this. I won't bite or anything, I promise. We can talk here right out in the open. I guess I'll leave you to it for a while I check in with Janie. No, I want to see the alpacas. Kanika heads off toward Janie and the alpacas, leaving you alone with the nervous pastor. I had a chat with the mayor yesterday. I heard you did too. I'm so glad you came. I never met anyone else who could hear them. You have no idea how long I thought. It must have been some kind of insanity. I even thought at one point it must have been the Lord himself talking to me through them. But they never had anything very insightful to say. So I was disavowed of that pretty early on. we suffer this fate? Fuck. So sorry. I don't think it's a curse. It can be annoying at times, but so can talk to people. Not that I feel that way very often, of course. As a servant of God, I am always ready and willing to talk with my fellow man about anything they need to discuss. Spiritually, I've always rationalized it as God's sign that I should spread his word even to the beasts of his world. I've had mixed results. Seems the alpacas prefer Catholicism, which they know about somehow. And birds tend to be incredibly heretical. Physically, I wish I had answers. I wish I could approach the scientists about this without becoming a research experiment. But I've preferred to keep quiet at my doctor's visits. I can't risk being locked away or altered in some permanent way, not when I have a family to take care of. Have I met Frou-Frou, Gretchen, or Pixel? Of course I have, but I learned early on in life to not let on that I have this gift, at least not while other humans are around. I haven't spoken with any of them. Though I get the feeling Frou-Frou wouldn't talk to me even if she knew I could understand her. I try to befriend the alpaca when no one is around, which is untried. They're surprisingly cliquey. Besides that, I try to maintain a low profile, only chatting with the wildlife when I'm sure no one's looking. It's your gift. Why you got into the church? Hard to say. I was raised Baptist by two loving parents and was always interested in religion. But I've also always known about my talent. So I don't know what came first. If anything, though, I'd say I'm religious in spite of the gift. It hasn't exactly been easy to square this with a lot of religious education I've had. For instance, a lot of religious leaders will tell you that only humans have souls. Well, you and I both know that's not true. Though I suppose that gets into a whole different conversation about what exactly a soul is. Those are conversations I'm glad to leave to the scholars. I'm just a simple small-town pastor. I don't need to ask big questions anymore. I just have to help people through their daily lives. Does Janie know? No, I don't believe there should be... No, I don't believe there should be secrets between man and wife. So I have to tell her one day. But there hasn't been a good time yet. Legal life in Scarlet Hollow has been a difficult process. And the last thing I need to do is add the stress of her husband being some kind of circus act. Tulip, on the other hand, I'm starting to have my suspicions that she might share this gift. There have been some particularly nasty rats in the church lately, and she said some things that have led me to believe she might be able to understand them. I was interrupted by the sound of snapping twig and a high-pitched giggle, partly muffled by the underbrush at the edge of the property. Tulip, come out of there. You know you're not supposed to play in the woods. Tulip glances back at the woods, quiet as she hesitates. Tulip, are you going to be good? Or are we going to have to skip story time tonight? I'll be good. You don't have to skip story time. I won't go in the woods, I promise. I know you won't, Tulip, because you know it's too dangerous for little girls in there. Why don't you help Mama with the alpacas? It's just about time they got fed. You can give them hay. Tulip smiles broadly, seemingly excited by the prospect, and hurries off. Sorry I had to have a firm parenting moment just there. She's been trying to run off into the woods a lot lately, and it's really dangerous, even for adults. There's this massive trash dump not far past the trees. And it must be at least 50 years old. It's all grown over and looks like a part of the landscape. If you accidentally walk on it, you might find yourself falling into hip-deep mound of rusty cans of broken glass. That might be where... Oh. Fuck. That might be where Stella is. Oh. Tetanus Lake. Tetanus Lake. Stella told me about it. Tetanus Lake? That's an accurate name. I wonder if Tulip would stay away if I started calling it that. Or if it would only make it sound more alluring. How big a trash dump are we talking? What a weekend of hard work cleared out. If you had construction equipment and a team of professionals. It's a big area. I have no idea how deep it goes. In the meantime, just making sure Tulip doesn't go near it. Don't say anything. Out of the corner of the eye, you see Kanika walking back to the two of you. Just to finish talking to Janie. He says she hasn't seen Stella either, so we better get going. Hope your talk with the pastor went well. Yes, we had a great conversation. I appreciate you all stopping by, even if it wasn't under the best circumstances. I'll let y'all be on your way. I hope Stella turns up soon. I'll put in some good prayers with the big man for her. Alright, thanks. See ya. Kanika starts back down the path to town, and you follow. Okay. Now we put some distance between us and the church. What did he want to talk to you about? He didn't say anything weird, did he? He can also talk to animals. He just wanted to discuss it with me. Alright, your weird animal thing. I can't believe that of all people in the world you could have shared the ability with, you wound up stuck with Pastor Daniel. Let's not get too distracted until we find Stella, though. Where to next? Go to the mines. I should go to the mines. I guess there's a decent chance Stella went to find your cousin. Can't say I get it, but it's definitely something she would do. Come on, I'll drive us. You follow Kanika to her van. It isn't long before you find yourself outside the Scarlet Mines. That was now or none at all. I am unhappy with the treatment I am receiving as a worker of the Scarlet Mine. Honestly, y'all should be up front and down the hill. Like you're missing prime real estate down the hill. There's a small gathering of workers just at the entrance of the mine. Picket signs in hand. It was not weird to talk to them while they're in the middle of all this. Well, if it isn't the boss's cousin. They might have had us fooled the other day, but word gets around fast. Have any of you seen Stella? She's missing. The YouTuber? She's the one on all the banned from property posters, right? We haven't seen her. We've been out here all day, so we'd know if she'd come by. Oh no, this isn't looking good. We should keep an eye out. How goes the strike? We miscalculated. We thought the kid losing her leg would have pushed folks over the edge. But I guess the boss personally dragged those kids out of the mine, left a lasting impression. People are calling the boss a goddamn hero. It's like everyone just forgot how poorly she's been treating us, or how unsafe the mines are. Can't go back down there, knowing that a rock over my head could come down any second. I value my life more than a paycheck. It was dumb luck she saved those kids. If she had any actual values, she could come to to come to the table and give us what we owed. I know there's not a lot of us out there, but there's more of us at the diner, and there's more of us setting up mutual aid. But once people see our follow-through, they're going to join up. This is only the beginning. Let me know if there's anything at the general store can help you with. Anything you can think of, we'll take it. We need all the support we can get right now. I'm just gonna leave it. Gotta talk to Tabitha. She's saying you went across the picket line. I'll call her. Play your phone and dial your cousin. Hey, you okay? Stella's missing. We've been looking all over town for her, and we don't have any leads. Tabitha groans. I don't think Wayne. There wasn't any evidence that he'd been in her house, or any sense of struggle or anything. I don't even know if she went home last night. She ran off in the opposite direction. Sorry. Stella's been known to disappear for days while she's been doing her videos. But I think we both know that's not what's going on. Let's see if we can figure something out. Tell me if you're running into any more trouble. And please don't go looking for any today, okay? I don't need you going missing too. I gotta go, sorry. She answered the phone. It didn't sound like she knows where Stella is. Come on, let's go. We need to figure out our next move when we get back to town. Where to next? Consider next steps. You remember your appointment with Sybil. She seemed to be confident last night that Stella would be okay. Maybe she'll be able to help find her. And she'd never disparage your gift. Perhaps she's one of the few people in town who could truly understand you. You have to see her. She's just the thread tying everything together. But at the back of your mind, you can't help but feel as if there is more than just fate drawing you to the tea room. We should talk to your mom. I'm supposed to have tea with her today. Sure, we can humor her. She's probably going to give you some rocks or bundles of herbs for protection or something, which might actually work. Who knows? This is only one way to find out. Bells of the general store chime welcomingly as the two of you enter. Kanika, there you are. We were supposed to stay in bed today, remember? And hello, Iris. I hope you've sufficiently recovered from last night's fiasco. Sorry, Mom, it's just that Stella's missing and Stella can take care of herself, unlike you. Rude. You need bed rest and lots of fluids. You don't need to go running around town spreading that cold of yours. Go on, get to bed. I'll be up in a minute with more tea. I thought you had some kind of important thing to talk to Iris about. I'm really feeling okay. I want to hear what you wanted to say to him. I'm just doing a tea reading. Everyone thought I was always bored you to tears. Okay, you're right. I'm not feeling well. I should really lay down. Bye, Iris. Kanika turns and heads toward the stairs, without saying another word. Something isn't right here, but it's hard to put into words or pin it down into thoughts. Shall we? So what motions you toward the tea room? Here we go. Please have a seat. I'll bring you a fresh cup. We take a seat at the small table on the edge of the room. It's dark here, only a sliver of sunlight able to filter through the heavy curtains, supplemented by the bright lights over the plant in the corner. So we'll go to the table and place the cup in front of you. It smells light and citrusy, with an undercurrent of decaying earth. Same tea you sampled with Avery at the diner on Tuesday. I'll be able to do a reading once you're done. Until then, how about we just chat? any of this. Sip your tea. You take the tea, sipping it delicately. The citrus smell is fleeting, quickly replaced with the earthiness at its core, like you've taken a mouthful of dirt. Ooh. The aftertaste combines the two flavors into something soothing and medicinal, and you find yourself feeling more comfortable, your muscles relaxing for the first time in days. Soothing beyond what you would expect out of ordinary tea. There must be something magical at work in this blend. The other day you promised to tell me, what was it? Unsavory tales of my mom's youth? I most certainly did. Though I might have been exaggerating a bit for dramatic effect. I'm prone to do that. In a town this size, you get to know everybody, no matter what the age difference might be. Vivian was a little younger than me, which meant I always had a certain older sister instinct about her. Her family wasn't good to her. Pearline was a lot like your great-grandmother, Edwardine, which is to say, she was not a very kind woman. Similar to Tabitha, but with a more social grace and considerably more hatred for a fellow man. But your mother wasn't a shrieking violet either. She was just as stubborn as any other Scarlet. So her family choosing her as their punching bag made her into quite the rebel. What happened when my mom found out she was pregnant? She came to me for advice. She was distraught. It was like she was handed a death sentence. Maybe it was fear from what had happened to her own mother. Maybe it was something else. But she seemed convinced she was in danger. Tabitha had already been born by then, of course. She was born in wedlock, so I assume your mother's words had something to do with religion. Though the Scarlets weren't particularly religious, as far as I knew. But the way Vivian was that night, she came to me. It stuck in my mind. It always had me wondering about what it was about your family that made her panic so much at the thought of having a baby. I feel like I know a lot about the women of my family, but what of the men? Did they even exist? I suppose they just haven't been very noteworthy since Edwardine took over the mines. Sorry. Her husband died a long time ago. To be quite honest, I can't even recall his name. Might have been Stewart or something just forgettable. It was Charles. From what Vivian said, her father had some teenage fling that ended once your grandmother found out she was pregnant. I'm fairly certain it was similar to Vivian, though she was much older, and I believe she was the one who ended it, what with skipping town and all. What do you know about my grandma? I'm afraid there isn't much I can tell you. I think there were two in that generation. The eldest died when the girls were still children. Edwardine never spoke about them, nor did your mother. Why were Pearline and my mom raised by Edwardine? What happened to their mother? Their entry into the world was violent, I'm afraid. Their mother was young, too young to be pregnant, especially with twins. She didn't survive the labor. Unfortunate. So how'd you end up in Scarlet Hollow? Change that real fast. Oh, my family has been in the hills for a long time. That's how I know so much about the local flora. Everything I learned was handed down from generations of hill folk. There hasn't always been a reliable doctor up here. Especially not one most folks could afford. They have to figure out their own medicine. But yanking me around. There's something to tell me. Just come out and say it. I need your tea leaves first. I have pieces of the puzzle, but the tea leaves should help me get the full picture. Finish the tea! You close your eyes and take another sip, and then another. It's delightful. The tea is gone before you know it. A small cup empty, save for what's left of rehydrated leaves coating the bottom. Oh, good. Glad you found the tea palatable enough to drink. It should do you some good. It's one of my more medicinal blends. Now, on to business. Sybil takes the cup from you, staring thoughtfully down at the sludge. Oh dear, this does not bode well. When does it bode well for me? Never have I ever had a thing bode well for me in this game. You've got just about every warning that could fit at the bottom of the cup. Cross, kettle, hourglass. All of them mean death, misery, difficulty, and the hourglass ties it all together with definite urgency. It's fair to assume that this all has to do with whatever brought the ditchlings. Something is coming, and whether any of us can stop it, I'm not sure. But we may, at the very least, be able to figure out what it is. The essential figure here. A cat. An enemy lurking in plain sight. I'd like to see. I'm sure it wouldn't make much sense to most people. It probably just look like a confusing mess of old leaves, but you're free to take a look. You take the cup, staring down into it. They're just leaves. There's no pattern, nothing swimming together that drags your tea into giving you warnings or premonitions. After a long moment, Sybil takes the cup back from you. I hope that settled your curiosity. Don't worry if you couldn't make sense of it. It takes your soul in this sort of thing. For someone with your propensities? She winks conspiratorially. It is not Dustin. It will never be Dustin. The cat could be Dr. Kelly. She's been nothing but hostile since I met her. Owen Kelly is a very blunt woman, bless her soul. It's a condition that puts a great strain on them both, and I'm sure she doesn't mean to come across the way she does. That kind of stress would do the same to anyone. But she's not a friend of yours. And she's not family, so she likes the closest required to be a cat. You don't have to figure out the answer right away. It often takes time for the mind to connect the dots. Just be on guard and keep vigilant that someone close to you isn't to be trusted. We know from the ditchlings that something terrible is coming your way, and is likely to be connected with some hidden enemy. Perhaps we can try to counteract whatever might be planned for you. Did you remember what you told me last night? Those stones, carvings, seals, whatever you want to call them. I think it's likely they have something to do with this. Until the cat reveals itself, it seems like your best course of action is to seek those carvings out. Piece together what you can from your visions, and arm yourself with information. Have you sensed any other around town? Do you think you might be able to find another? Your thoughts drift to that door yesterday, one that seemed to draw you in, urging you to go deeper into the clinic. Just remembering is enough to tug at you, compelling you to return and open it to see what's on the other side. If I saw a letter, later, maybe you can even find her there. What's important now is finally seeing what's hidden in the clinic. I think I felt another one in the clinic. That's good. If you can find your way inside and uncover another stone, that could give you a leg up on your adversary. You'll just have to be careful to avoid the doctor. Something tells me she won't take too kindly to you sniffing around a clinic. I think that's all the help I can offer. But this conversation has been illuminating, even if it just brought up more questions, and giving you any clear answers. your help last night. Why don't you come with me? I may have been able to see through the spirit's illusions, but I'm not some kind of all-powerful entity. I'm an old woman. I have trouble with my knees, and my eyesight isn't what it used to be. In most situations, I'd be more liable than a helpful companion. Imagine if I'd been in those mines with you. Some use I'd be struggling to climb over rocks and ladders, throwing my back out from all that crouching. Thanks, I'll let you know if I find anything. Glad to hear it. I hope all goes well, and I wish you luck. Hopefully you won't need it. Thank you again for humoring an old lady and stopping by for a chat. A small amount of effort, Sybil gets up from the table, and you're escorted back to the door. And remember, be careful who you put your trust in. According to your tea, the cat is getting ready to pounce, and merely being ready for it might not be enough. Sybil closes the door to the tea room. The bells on his door strangely flat in the stale air of the nearly empty general store. With that, I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here. So thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you later.